High vibes, everybody. I just wanted to get on here and make a video about getting in touch with your imagination. Now, a lot of people will try to downplay your imagination. Like I know, growing up, and even like going around places, you hear a lot of people that tell you, "Oh, no, that was just your imagination," or "You're just imagining things," trying to basically say like you're not seeing that or you're not perceiving certain things. Well, it might be your imagination because your imagination is pretty powerful, especially when you start to discover, through meditation and different techniques, exactly how you visualize and how you see certain things and certain objects. So, when someone comes to you and they say, "Oh, that's just your imagination," like you should not be worrying about that. Well, you should really be getting in tune with your imagination because when you like want to start doing your chakra meditations, and you want to start visualizing like the different chakras and everything, which is a method that a lot of people use in order to see what's going on with your inner energy and and how your inner energy works. You're going to want to be able to visualize these certain things, like maybe like the colors, and then like rose petals and the flowers and different things, or whatever you are actually using in that time to get that out there. So you want to make sure that you're actually getting in tune with your imagination, because your imagination is going to help you be able to visualize and see more of these things that are actually happening and going on. Like when a child, they might create an imaginary friend, or they might, say, "Oh, we're in a completely different world." They start imagining and they're playing, and that's really happening for them. You got to think about that, saying your perception, the way you perceive things, the way you see things, the way you think about things, that has an effect on the reality that's around you. So once you start actually tuning more in and getting more into that flow with your imagination, then you're going to be able to start to do other things with your imagination, like start focusing on different things and using it for different purposes, because your imagination is key to a lot of different things. Like if you even think about when you want to, let's say you're trying to shield yourself for different things, like mentally and emotionally. We just start basic right there. Well, when you're thinking about it, you could be like, okay, like I am a rock, or I'm wearing armor, and then when you tune in with your imagination and you actually start to visualize and internalize that information right there, that's when that's really going to start changing and turning up, because then you'll be able to see it, you'll be able to give it more substance, more density, more, I don't know, more energy into it, because you're able to see it a lot clearer. You're able to set your intentions a lot stronger on it. So, that's something that you really should be trying to work on, is getting in tune with the imagination and how your imagination works. This all goes into your inner working and everything that you do throughout life. Is you have to be able to internalize and visualize these things so that you can be able to do other things that you might want to do. So, on a very basic level, when you want to get in tune with your imagination, you can start out simple and start and just say, okay, I'm going to visualize something in front of me. It could be like a white ball, or anything, say something simple, or something that you believe is very simple for you to imagine. And then you start working on it from there. And then you'll start to be able to do other things. Like a good way to do this is to close your eyes and actually, you can go into a meditation, if you so choose, and then start to visualize these different things. Because once your eyes are closed, then you're able to start getting more in tune with the imagination, getting more in tune with that subconscious mind, to be able to see the different things that you're actually trying to, put forth and visualize. So, pretty much, once you start getting in tune with your imagination, you'll start to see how it can have effects on different areas of your life. Like you can use your imagination to basically be like, okay, anytime somebody says something to me a certain way, that would normally either get you upset or riled up in any type of way, like angry, happy, sad, whatever you were trying not to have happen, you can use your imagination to be like, okay, when they say that, okay, it's basically like it bounces off of me, and I have like a rubber wall or something around me that when they hit it, it just goes right back, and so that it doesn't actually affect you. You know, a lot of people like to imagine like concrete walls and different things like forming up in their mind in order to block certain things out. So and then the more that you actually get in tune with that imagination, and the stronger that's actually going to become, and the more that you'll be able to use. And then if you want to get even deeper into it, and you start to use your imagination for different purposes as well as to help you with your energy work, because you know at first you might not be able to feel all that stuff or be able to see anything or and stuff like that. So you're going to want to make sure that you're using your imagination. Be like, okay, you know how they say, you know, you got to fake it till you make it. Well, in this, you know, kind of, sort of, there's some truth and some lies within that phrase as well. You know, but yeah, you want to, imagine it at first before you can actually feel it. You want to use your imagination to start getting in tune with that. Be like, okay, a lot of people like to start with eyeballs and stuff like that. Like, so you want to use your imagination and start doing that type of stuff. Now, at first, you're just going to be imagining the feeling and all this, and then eventually, it's going to start transforming and changing into something that you're actually using. So just make sure that you're doing that inner work and that inner meditation, and seeing how your imagination, plays with a lot of different things. Like, you could even change your whole mentality at work. Let's say you're having a bad day at work, and the weather's bad and all this. Well, you could turn it in your mind to something completely different, a completely different situation. Like like you can even start to imagine what you're doing is a little bit different, so that you don't have to worry about different things coming at you or bothering you, or people saying certain stuff. You can turn it on to where that stuff kind of is just filtered out. Now, you don't want to fully filter out these things that are happening, because you do want to be aware of what is going on around you. But you can use it in order to help you, to bring about that change within and that change without, so that you can navigate a little bit better throughout this reality. So basically, I just want to make sure that you guys are out there, tuning into that part of yourself that a lot of people like to, want to get rid of. A lot of people want to not have you be in tune with it, because they know how, because a lot of people know how powerful your imagination is, with your intentions and your willpower. Because once you start bringing all that stuff together, then there's so many more things that you can accomplish. There's a lot more more goals that you can get done. No, there's there's just a lot of different benefits for getting in tune with your imagination, and that's for you to do your own inner search and research and everything on, so that you can start to see all the different benefits that you yourself can actually receive from doing these different things. I keep saying that a lot. Everything that I'm telling you, don't just take it for my word. I want you to take it and then internalize it and do your inner search on it, so that you can start to see the results. Apply these things in your life so that you can see the different results. Don't just be like, okay, I know this, I know that, or I have a feeling about this, but you're not actually applying these things. Because if you're not even applying these things, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to actually, either start believing or start seeing or start feeling. It's gonna basically hinder you from going further on your goals if you're not actually applying this information. Because it's one thing to apply, to have all the knowledge. It's a wholly another thing to apply the knowledge. With that goes with like schooling. A lot of people be like, oh, that person's book smart, but they can't actually do the job. It's like, okay, they might know a lot about this subject, but they can't actually do it. So, with that being said, you want to make sure that, with this information, you want to apply it and put it into the different aspects of your life. So that's going back to your imagination. If you just be like, okay, yeah, my imagination is powerful and I can do these different things, but you don't actually use your imagination, that's when you're not actually going to get the full results of it. You might get certain things like using your imagination to imagine maybe you're on a beach somewhere to calm yourself down. It's a nice serene area. Or when you're actually in a situation that's kind of stressful and fast paced, you can use your imagination to slow things down, because you basically use that imagination to help fuel what you're trying to do. So just make sure that you're actually applying, using your imagination in all different aspects, you know, spirit, mind, and body, you know, that full trinity, so that you'll be able to get more out of the actual experience. And that's another thing. When you're doing these things, you want to, you know, make sure that you're getting the experience from it, because you can hear a lot of stuff from other people about these things, but until you actually get that first-hand experience, not second-hand, third-hand experience, that first-hand experience, you know, you're not going to start getting the full, you know, meaning behind these different things. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say for today's video. Um, and also, just a little side note, I know like I don't post as often, but I think I'm going to be starting to get on a schedule where at least every 5 to 6 days, you guys will be seeing a post from me, if not sooner. So, you know, peace in and out, high vibes, and my full love.